Okay, so I wanted to make a quick video on this. This is actually really big news that's just coming out. So Google has now introduced their AI overview mode, and I believe that this mode is what is going to take over search as we know it. Google has continued to do everything that they can to try and keep users on their platforms, even kind of shafting the small business owner in a way. I think they're kind of getting really greedy with that. But I'm going to explain to you just briefly what this means for us, what this means for our small businesses, and what we can do to adapt and be sure that we're not going to be losing a large amount of traffic to our businesses online because of all of this. So as you know, as you're looking at right here, Google is changing. The AI mode is something that everybody needs to pay attention to. So let me give you an example of this. So this is the AI mode that comes up, right? And as you can see, I just searched pianos near me, right? So traditionally, we would see advertising here. We would see Google ads at the top displaying piano galleries. We also would see actual listings of websites here, right? But not anymore. With this AI mode, and I believe that they're going to start forcing this AI mode soon. We do get a list of piano dealers near me, right? Which this was the query, pianos near me. And it lists them, right? So I'm not seeing any landing pages. I'm not seeing any used piano inventory clearance landing pages. I'm not seeing any events. I'm not seeing anything like that. I'm just seeing what Google's AI mode believes are piano galleries near me, and it's distinguishing what the best piano gallery is near me based upon the artificial intelligence and the data that it is using to display these results, right? So you would think, traditionally, when we would search, we would see, actual website listings. Now, when I click on one of these, it still keeps me in the Google platform, right? It's just displaying the actual Google business page, right? And it's giving me all of the information. Now, I can also click here and finally go to the website, but as you can see, there was 3 steps before that. First, my query, then it gave me something, then I have to select which one that I want, and then I have to click, and then it shows me maps listing, and then I have to click again to go to the website. So this is going to be a real game changer, especially if you're very heavy in writing blogs with piano-related content, if you're very heavy in using like products that we serve, which are like inventory clearance lists and used piano clearance events. This is going to change all of that, and the traffic to that is going to significantly diminish organically for all of those items. So scrolling down a little bit, once again, we do have some places here, some piano galleries that it has found. And when I click on those, once again, it keeps me on the Google platform and just shows me the Google places, which leads me to a point that I'll discuss later. But it's very important for us to now get into our appearance in Google businesses, right? Because that's where all of this information displays. You can have videos here, you can have tours of the store, you can have a lot to optimize this. And many piano galleries, I would say maybe like 98% of them do not have this optimized as it should be. And this is going to be front and center for your business right now. It is not going to be your website anymore. Google wants to keep you here. So moving down, then it's giving me ideas for piano lessons as well. And also I can click there and it just displays the Google My Business pages for that as well. It also talks about piano rentals, and it's just kind of giving me these results. There's really no rhyme or reason at this point as to why they're giving me these results other than the optimization of your Google business page. So SEO and all of that stuff, crawling the websites traditionally like we wanted. We wanted to have our websites optimized, all the code optimized for all of that. Well, it's not using that anymore. It's using artificial intelligence to populate these results. And this is front and center on the page, right? It's now there are sites that do load over here that I can click on, but that's not the front and center focal point of Google anymore. The sites are kind of an afterthought. These sites used to be here. It used to be, this was the front and center, the focal point. Now that's changed. They're over here in the corner, a lot smaller, and we see that 70% of the page now, 80% of the page now is AI results, which significantly changes things. So another popular query that we get all the time is best grand pianos for students, right? So right here, it is giving me what Google Gemini, their AI model, believes is the best pianos for students. It's not giving me any articles about any piano galleries that may have the best pianos for students front and center. Now, there are some articles over here that do come up, but there's only 3 of them that populate here. I could show all and click 8, but the front and center, my focal point is AI, Google's AI mode, and their Gemini explaining this to me. And I don't see any advertising here at all. No Google ads have popped up at this point. And it doesn't mention Steinway at all in these recommended pianos for students, where up here, Steinway was the first piano gallery. So based upon locally where I am here in Cape Coral, Florida, if I was searching pianos near me, Steinway Piano Gallery came up as the first one. But then as it goes down to best grand pianos for students, Steinway is not mentioned, right? So that's really what I'm getting at here. Before, if you had a very well optimized page, you would rank number 1 for best grand pianos for students. The Steinway presence would be there. And a Steinway presence would be there for pianos near me, but that has changed. Now we have AI and Google Gemini coming up with these results, right? And they have their own method of doing that, and that is what we have to research. That is what we have to understand. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some key ways to fix that and combat that, but we really have to understand this because I believe that this is where everything is going. And even so, where to find pianos in Cape Coral. So I have, it did bring up Steinway here, but as the 3rd result, right? And then when I click this again, once again, it's not taking me to the website. It's taking me to the Google business page, right? So very, very different. Now, I just wanted to show an example of a very good optimized Google business page. So here we go. We have Steinway Piano Gallery right here in Naples. We have a few pictures here that we can scroll through, kind of generic pictures. If we go to Guitar Center, right, we see that they have a video that pops up right away, right? So Google business pages can be optimized with videos, right? And this is very important because if we're going to be presented data this way, where Google is kind of forcing us to use their AI models, you can click all and go back to traditional searches, but I believe that AI is going to be pushed into everything because Google wants to keep you on their platform. So if this is what we got, then we have to optimize these business areas, right? So when I click Guitar Center, I see this video, which is cool. I see all of the reviews. I see an example of what's in the actual store, more categories here, which is nice, as opposed to here, we don't really get that information as to what's in the store. So little intricacies like this that we can add to really pump up these Google My Business pages are what's going to help you stick out and attract more website visitors and more business, given this new AI mode that we're looking at here. And then finally, let's see, my final search here was used pianos near me, right? So this is really big. We traditionally, in the last 10 years, Prospects International used pianos near me has been pretty much the biggest search query, right? So all of that has changed now. I don't see any Google ads populating here at all. The Gemini has found 1, 2, 3, 4 piano galleries and references to used pianos in my area. Steinway does not appear at all in these search results at all, in these AI results, right? Now, why is that? Well, we would have to look at how it's generating these results, and it has a lot to do with that Google business page, right? Are they spotlighting the used inventory there? Are they talking about that within that page? Not necessarily on the website, but on those Google page listings, because Gemini is not per se searching websites, it's searching the Google business profiles and the data that it has available in the Google ecosystem, because Google wants to keep you here, right? So once again, I click on piano distributors, and here we go. I'm presented with this Google Places page, right? So I believe that this is how people are going to interact. They're not necessarily going to fly to websites all the time. They're just going to get this quick and dirty basic information, because the AI is going to tell me tips for buying a piano. It's going to give me a lot of updates and information, stuff that I would normally get on the website. I can just kind of scroll down and find here, right? It's talking to me about tips for buying a used piano. It's spec carefully, asks about tuning and maintenance, negotiate the price. Don't be afraid of that. So it's giving me a lot of great information here for me without even having to go to a dealer's website. Things to consider when buying a player piano, right? So this is all AI, Google's ecosystem, their Gemini results here, right? Type of player systems, Yamaha Disc Severe, piano, disc, and QRS, right? So there's no mention of a Steinway player system here, right? So why is that? Well, Google just introduced this May, so we're investigating and we're trying to figure out what we can do to up our products. I know we have Yamaha dealers as well, and that's wonderful that they came up. This is very good for Yamaha dealers, but we also have Steinway dealers, so we also want to figure out how we can get that to be optimized in these results as well, right? So type of player system, once again, there's no mention of Spirio on here. Right, so for the user that is looking, they're not going to be presented with that option. Whereas before, if you had great SEO and the query was about player pianos, definitely Steinway Spirio would come up as one of the top ones. Right, we do have the Steinway Piano Gallery here that came up in the results, but once again, that's just the player. I'm sorry, that's just the Google business page. And without the products listed, optimized in your Google business page, it's not going to be much about player piano. So all the user has to do is just scroll down and keep reading this AI mode information, which I think that will be a learned behavior. And they're going to see, okay, types of player systems. Okay, well, these are the ones that exist. Well, if I'm reading this and I don't know much about it, I'm really not going to think Steinway at all. I'm going to think Yamaha, because this is the first one that it's recommending for me, right? It's going to talk about features as well, recording capabilities, Bluetooth, all that stuff that we have on our websites, and we want people to go there and find that, but Gemini is displaying that. So here's what you need to do right now. We need to update your Google business profile. We need to make sure all of that is set up correctly, because that is what Gemini is using to populate this information, right? So photos, services, your about section, all that needs to be sharp and accurate. We need to check on your reputation management as well, because this is definitely part of the algorithm that this new AI mode is using, right? How many reviews do you have? How many of them are positive, and what is the content of these reviews, right? So that's very important as well. And that's just reputation management, and that's a whole area of web in itself, but that has to be very strong. And then we also have to test your own search visibility, just like we did, right? If you are using the AI mode and you're looking for player pianos in your area, and your business clearly is not coming up, or it's not mentioning your products, right? We have to recognize that, and then we have to do some research and figure out how we can get our products there, right? So this is the future of search, and if your business isn't optimized for AI mode, you're already falling behind. Drop a comment if you want help making sure your business shows up correctly. We can do that. We can optimize these business pages. We can do the research and make sure that given this new AI mode, you are not going to be left in the dark.